Performing arts are a very competitive and demanding area to work in, with performers under the very closest scrutiny from audiences. But for some people, it's an exciting challenge. We're going to meet 4 talented performers who've gone out and made a name for themselves in music, theatre, film, television and comedy. Caitlin Smith has built a professional career as a singer and as a teacher of singing. She has her own jazz group, which performs regularly at various venues around Auckland.
I'm gonna learn to love you more each day, more than you'll ever know. My arms long to hold you, so my heart will be.
The band I perform for is the Fondue Set, which is a jazz lounge band, and we perform sort of kitsch lounge jazz numbers, but also straight jazz with other influences, obviously, because my influences are very diverse, and so I incorporated that into the music. It's not strictly jazz.
How did you first get interested in performing?
My mother was a singer, and she sang with the in an opera company in the 50s before she went to England, and I've just sung ever since I was a tiny little thing, a wee bairn.
Oh, blues are blue. Some blues are glad, but some blues are sad. Dark and sad or bright and glad.
When I left school, I travelled around the globe for a bit and was ready to come back and do a music degree, and I had 2 weeks in a music degree at Auckland University, and then decided not to do that because it definitely wasn't my bag, because when I was overseas I was working for various environmental organisations. So I ended up doing a master's in politics, and when I graduated from that I had several jobs involved in the social justice field as a researcher and as a manager of various campaigns.
Have you faced discrimination in your working life?
Yeah, there are a few instances where I was facing discrimination because of my eyesight. One of them being a union job that I was shortlisted down to 2 people, didn't get it, and they assumed that I couldn't do the job because of my sight problem. And yet I'd proven otherwise with all my previous experience, and that was a real blow. Other jobs I've got, and they've mainly been in the social justice area, and therefore it's an area which people really, they try and be equal opportunities employers, so they've got a real onus to, in a way, not discriminate on grounds of disability. But it has been a contributing factor and a forcing mechanism to get me out there singing, because singing doesn't involve anyway my sight really, because I memorise everything.
You know, I've seen those movie stars in the fancy cars and the limousines. I've been high in the Rockies under the evergreen. But now I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind.
Last year, I kind of realised that as I'd also started singing somewhere along the line, it was a gradual process really. It was getting to the point where the day job was interfering with the singing at night and during the day as well, because there's sometimes session work during the day. So I just packed in the day job. Started working for a music magazine, which was a very complimentary profession, but since then that has gone under, unfortunately, so I'm back to singing full time.
What have been some of your major musical influences?
I've had lots of influences because I've been involved with music in different spheres for a long time. I used to be in a punk band called The Sound of Mucus.
Do you see yourself as challenging stereotypes of disability?
I think the only challenges will be for people to see people out there involved in the industries that they want to be involved in, and they aren't hindered in any way by their disability. And I've been lucky enough to have had a musical background and musical experience and skills that have meant that my disability has not in any way affected my ability to go out there and, you know, be a musician.
about the audience-performer relationship? How do you experience that when you can't see the audience?
It makes it a lot easier for me because I can just assume that there is a warm, welcoming audience out there, and in fact it's probably a good thing that I do because I might be distracted by having people, you know, eat and doing other things in front of me, but because I can't see that far, it doesn't bother me at all. So in a way, I think it's an added bonus for audience participation because I often do it verbally rather than visually.
Well, combing my hair now, and I'm wondering what dress to wear now. I say a little prayer for you, forever, forever. You beat my heart, I will love you forever, forever. That's how it must be, I'll always love you forever. Together, that's how it must be. To live without you will only bring heartbreak for me.
The whole reason why I sing and the reason why I'm involved in music is because that's really, you know, a passion in my life. I couldn't imagine life without singing or without music. It's just something I do.
When we met